Good day, YouTube. Today's the 9th of December 2020, and this is a Mirachem heated parts washer. Did a video yesterday, as a matter of fact. Picked up a couple items, few items. Went on a little road trip, pick everything up yesterday. Was really interested in this heated parts washer. I love the idea that it's non-metallic. I didn't know it was heated when I bought it. I did hope there was a working pump in it. Turns out there isn't. Well, there is either a pump in there that doesn't work or there is no pump in it. There is, however, a switch for it. So we'll have to dig into this thing today. Under the greasy covers is a switch for the pump and a switch for the heater. When I turn the heater switch on, steam comes out because there's like no liquid in it hardly at all. So I think the heater's working. The pump, however, is not. So you can see two cords going out of here. So the one that goes down to the bottom is the heating element. It's a lot like what you'd see in a water heater, or possibly it is a water heater element. So this isn't something you would put solvent in or flammables, right? Because that means fumes means explosion. We wouldn't want that to happen, but this is a good opportunity to research other types of degreasers that are water-based. And I have done that, and I think I have made my decision. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but if you have any comments about water-based degreasers, throw them down below, and we'll experiment with that just a little bit. I've even seen folks that are using Tide laundry soap and mixtures of laundry soap and Dawn and stuff like that. But I think I have it in mind what I'm going to use. So first thing we need to do is figure out what's going on with this thing. I like the fact that at any position that lid will just stay there. It's just at its hinges, there's enough friction there. When you open it up, it stays up. Obviously, it had a brush connected to a hose, and when someone decided they were done with this, they kept it. So we've got to come up with one of those, get one ordered today. It's got one of these sectional little hoses there, which is kind of cool. It's a little dirty in here. I did pressure wash the outside of it because it had been sitting around in a warehouse for a while. And it appears to separate this. There are four stainless Allen head, probably 1/4-20 bolts. So the first order of business would probably be to remove the top or get it close. I see we have fittings here, but that appears to be a hose. Hopefully there's enough slack in there where we can just move this off to the side to gain access down below so we can see what the pump situation is. Is it not hooked up? Is it missing? Is it there? Is it repairable? Should we get one coming? That's the question of the day. So let me get set up, and we'll get these bolts out of here, take the top off of it, and see what's in here. Catch you in a moment. Okie doke. Got one of them out. That's four. I see there's a hose clamp on the back. we can take off and separate these. I do see there is a pump in there. Kind of a commercial duty type pump. Might be in your way, but that's what it takes. Get the clamp off of here. Let me get one of my hose pliers here. I know I keep saying this, but I've got these set of 3 hose pliers. Harbor Freight, like 15 bucks. I've actually got 2 sets. You don't have a set, get you some. Pulling these off is real nice and easy with these things. If they'll come off. They'll come off good with these. They've been on there for a while. I will win this battle. Told you I'd win. Now we got some cords here, but maybe I can set this down, kind of set it aside on this other side. Maybe. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me bring you around and show you what we're up to. You're flying right now. Yep. You're gonna have to fly with me here, I think. Okay, now you can see in there. This is actually a conduit coming out the back with a cord on it that goes to the switch. So we should probably just pull that switch cover apart, make sure power's even getting to this thing. And then there's that submersible pump. That little screen on it right there. Again, when I turned it on, I didn't hear a thing. But then it could have worked. I don't know that for sure. I mean, it's not like there's anything to pump, but I would have thought I'd have heard something and I didn't hear anything, which is why we've got it apart. There's the heating element down there. A little bit of water at the bottom. It does work. It steamed immediately. So I shut it obviously right back off again. So let me play with it here for a sec. Well, here's a little update with the switches in the off position. I hope you can still see it, but yeah, there you go. Got steam coming out. So the switches were off, but it was plugged in, and steam's coming out. So the heating element was turned on. So maybe we just have electrical issues. Somebody's maybe bypassed the switch for the heating element or something. I don't know. So let's get the switch apart, see what we can find. I'll zoom you in there a little bit. The switch is busted. Obviously I have it unplugged. And this was off. It's not done very well in there. So let me tear everything apart, get everything isolated, and we'll stick a temporary switch or something on each of these for a moment and see what's really going on in there. But I decided just to run down and grab a new one and a new cover. The old one was disgusting. Wow, don't give those away though. Switches are $8.49. $3.23 cover. Cover I can live with. Switch, it's a lot of money. Alright, let's get that switch put in and see if anything changes. I'll get back to you. Okay, put the switch in. The one on the left to be the pump, one on the right to be the heater. We'll plug her back in. See what happens. Nothing. Okay, I'm gonna get a hammer and tap on it. A hammer. Just a little one though. Well, I guess she's coming out of there. Let me, I'm gonna have to pull this lock nut off this side. Take this line out the back. And we'll throw it up on the bench and see what's going on. Okay, we got the pump out. Let's see about getting it apart. This does look very similar to the pump that was sitting inside of this, disassembled when I got it. The guy originally had two of these, so I didn't know if that was a pump out of another one, or the other one, or out of this one. But obviously this one doesn't turn. So maybe if we get in to the impeller, we can spin it and make the motor work. Maybe. It spins. Well, let me rig something up to, or put a cord cap on the cord so we can plug it in. Hang on. Well, let's see what happens when we plug it in. Smoke test. Put my gloves on. This thing is mighty dirty. Plugged in. Not doing nothing, that's for sure. Might have to go out where I threw that other pump. Maybe it works. This one ain't doing nothing. Let's see if I can find it. Well, the other pump was the same. It doesn't look to be in quite as good a shape, but I put the cord cap on it. Let's plug it in, see if she spins. If it does, I guess we could swap the cover and stuff I just took off over onto this one. Alright, here we go. Nada. It ain't happening either. Well then, two dead pumps. Two dead pumps. Okay. Well, I guess we'll go online See if we can find a pump like that. If not, it just needs to be a submersible type, I guess, parts cleaner pump. Alright, here we go. We'll go looking, see what we find. Well, it's not the cheapest pump in the world, but we knew that was a commercial machine, so it's going to be a decent pump. I scrolled through eBay and found the least expensive option, which is this one. It's $78.31. Actually, there was one for $75. Hang on a second. Alright, I went and looked at the one that was a little cheaper, and it was 185 gallons per hour. This is the 300 gallons per hour. Significantly more output. So this is the one we'll get. And we should be able to get it December 18th, so 9 days, what they're predicting. Let's get her coming. Your order's in. Let's go look for one of them solvent brushes with the hose attachment. Well, there we go. There's one for 25 bucks shipped. So I got that one coming, and that should be a good addition to the tank. So we've spent 100 bucks on this tank, but you know, a Harbor Freight, you know, inexpensive solvent tank, non-heated, is 100 bucks. So I spent 40 on the tank itself. I spent 10 bucks on a compressor at the same place. I've sold the motor and compressor off the air compressor for 40 bucks. So that puts me in each item $5 a piece. So money well spent. Cool. Well, we'll wait for this to show up, the pump to show up and this to show up. We'll put this baby back together. We'll resume this video at that time. Well, we fast forwarded to Sunday the 13th. I just took an hour or so and made a few little additions to the parts washer, waiting for the pump still. However, surprisingly enough, I checked tracking number on the pump here a moment ago, and it actually says it's out for delivery today on a Sunday, U.S. Postal Service. On a Sunday? I'll believe that when I see it, but I guess anything is possible. This just had a hose barb right here at this T, and then the hose was cut off. I'm sure it was a solvent brush, and we have one coming, so I took this opportunity to put a valve on it, and then thinking that I may not always want the brush to have you know, degreaser flowing through it, and so put a short nipple in a valve, put the hose barb back in through a coupling here, and then we can put the brush on it when it arrives, which will be like next week sometime. So that gives me a valve on both sides of the operation, one for just the nozzle and then one for the brush. Then amongst the mess here on the bench, here was a 2-foot short piece of 3/8 gas line, which is fairly stiff today, that went from the submersible pump out the back of the machine and up to this nozzle here. So I took the fitting off. This will go back on the new pump when it arrives today or tomorrow, and a couple feet with a couple extra inches of 3/8 gas line to replace this one that is very, very stiff. So it'd be cool if that pump showed up today. We could button this up and get it all back together and make it work today. So cross our fingers on that, and we'll check back to you if it arrives. So we're fast forwarded to Monday morning, and sure enough, yesterday on a Sunday, the U.S. Postal Service delivered my pump. That's awesome. So it should be exactly like the one we took out. Yeah, and it is. This is 300 gallons per hour. There were a couple of choices. There's a new screen. I kept the old one just in case. And then there's some paperwork. So we got to get the that's my mess. The pipe back on. I guess I pull that brass fitting out, and we'll thread that right onto there. And then this goes here. So we'll get this all prepared, and we'll get the pipe on, get the cord threaded through and out this end, and we'll be able to put this thing back in. I'm having a power shut off at my shop this morning so I can go through and do some maintenance of my panel, just redo all the connections and stuff. As we always say at work, better to have a planned shutdown than an unplanned shutdown. And this building was built in 1947, so really don't know the history behind at least the main electrical panel. I've put a sub panel fed from it, and it's good, but yeah, I've never shut that main panel off and redone all the connections, and today's the day while I'm off work. Be a good time to get that done. So I got about an hour before the power company arrives, so let's put this pump together, get it in, and get my my heated parts washer all hooked up. That'd be awesome. All right, we got the pump in and wired on the new, to me, hot parts washer. And I got 5 gallons of water for testing purposes. And I've decided to use Zep, pick up a 5-gallon container of Zep. It's an industrial purple degreaser, and it needs to be diluted 2 to 1 or something with water. So 5 gallons of water going in. I need to get the heating element submerged and the submersible pump under. I'm not sure if 5 gallons will do it or not. I really don't know what the capacity of this thing is. So we'll throw 5 gallons of water in it, see if that's enough for testing. If not, I'll have to go get the Zep right now, and we'll dump that in. I would think 10 gallons for sure would do it. But let's see what 5 gallons does. Watch it all leak out the bottom. Guess I could look. Good so far. Alright, let me get a light, see if the pump is underwater or not. Or not. Okay. I'm thinking it's going to take at least another 5 to get it well underwater. Let me put some more water in it. Alright, got another bucket. Bucket of water. The bucket's dying though. She's coming apart. There. Right. A light. Oh my goodness. So the pump is only half submerged. We'll do this carefully. But it needs a few more gallons to be, a couple more gallons anyway, to be completely submerged. The heater's okay. It's at the bottom, but the pump, no. Let's see if it pumps a little. I'll open a valve. I think she's coming. There we go. There we go. Okay. Enough for the moment. Turn the heater on. the heating element's way at the bottom, so that should be good to go. Tell you what, I'm gonna go get the ZEP because I think we got a working unit here. She's not leaking water out anywhere, so I'll be back and we'll put some cleaner in it and make it a working unit. I don't think I'm gonna leave the heater on while I'm gone though. I'll be back. Okay, I ran to Lowe's and got the ZEP. Notice the other thing is kind of evident is there's a big hole in the tank there. And while I was there, I got one of these. Oop, there you are. That was about $5 or something. Kitchen sink strainer, nice and fine. Look at that. Is that a perfect fit or what? Right on. All right, let's look at the ZEP here for a second. Because, so I'm a big fan of these purple cleaners, I guess. ZEP was my choice after a lot of internet looking. I know everybody's going to have their own opinion about cleaners, and there's good things about like Oil Eater. I've used, was that Super Purple or whatever it is, a Castrol Super Clean, successfully and all that jazz, but they just don't sell it in bulk like this. So this is ZEP Industrial Purple Degreaser and Cleaner. This makes up to 125 gallons if you want not a real strong solution of it. The key is you must reduce this with water. You must cut it with water. Okay? You can't use it straight. Don't get it on you. Don't get it on you in its straight, concentrated form. So it says, let's see. Directions. Light soils dilute 5 ounces per gallon. Heavy soils dilute 20 ounces per gallon. We're probably going to just do a little more than this, okay? So what I've done a little math here on the back of this card. So we have about 10 gallons of water in there. I actually just threw a couple more gallons in there, so it might be a little more because my buckets weren't quite full. So it's 10 plus gallons of water. So if you put 20 ounces per gallon, and I have 10 gallons, that's 200 ounces of ZEP. Okay? So, yeah, maximum 20 ounces per 128 ounces of water. So, did a little math there. So 200 ounces, or, 128 times 2, that'd be 2 gallons, would be, around 256 ounces. So I'm thinking a couple gallons to around 11 gallons of water. That's going to be in the ballpark. You probably wouldn't want to go more crazy than that. I was wondering if this has a... I was looking for graduations on this thing, like, it says 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 3 gallons, etc., but it doesn't. So I might measure this and put some marks on it so I know how much I'm taking out of here. And we'll pour some out and check this. So hang on a sec. Okie dokie, it's time. We're going to pour it in. I just turned the heater back on too, so... It's a good opportunity for gloves and safety glasses. You don't want this on you or in your eyes. So I marked on the jug every gallon, roughly. See what that looks like. Oh, we got a ways to go. That wasn't much. Seems like it was, but it wasn't. Let's check. bubbles. 1, 2, 3. Well, we got a ways to go. Checking. Getting close. Getting real close. Alright, that'll do. Yep, that's good. Okay. Turning the pump on. Better open a valve. There we go. And we'll circulate the ZEP. Pump's nice and smooth and quiet, right? Of course, this is where the brush will be. Oh yeah, look at that. There was 2 options for a pump, like 170 gallons per hour and the 300. So glad I went with the 300. We got nice flow here. I see myself put like a little box with holes in it or something like that. You know, it's like a little cage or something, a real fine mesh or something for doing carburetors. That kind of thing. Cool. Let me grab my thermometer and we'll see what this thing is coming up in temperature. Alright, let's see what we got here. 60. We'll call it 60. Alright, set it warm up. Alright, it's been like 15 or 20 minutes. So we were at 60 degrees. Where are we at? 72, 73. Okay. So, not quite a degree an hour. I'm just trying to tell myself if I were to want to clean parts and I get out to the shop, how early should I turn the heater on in the parts washer? So let's just say 1 degree every 2 minutes. It should go from 50 degrees or so to 140. So that's 90 degrees. 1 degree 2 minutes, so 180 minutes. So about 3 hours to get this thing fully up to temperature. So 2 to 3 hours, somewhere in there. All right, that's good enough for me. Well, gang, I think that's going to wrap this up. I have a working, heated, commercial parts cleaner. A Mirachem. So just watched Marketplace and thing popped up. I was very close to just going picking up a Harbor Freight for $100. The cool thing is this is on wheels. It's got like its own built-in wheels, so you can move it around like a hand truck, which is really good because I don't have most of my tools sitting in the way. I roll them out of here, and when I need them, I need them. So that's good. So what I spent on this thing, round numbers, the pump was $73. A bunch of fittings, or a few fittings, I guess I should say. New switch and cover for here. The ZEP, all that jazz. $150 or something. But here's the deal. I bought this and that air compressor together for $50 total, and I sold the parts off the compressor for $40, so I was really in this thing about $10, which should make me in this thing around, I don't know, $130, $140 total. That's with chemical. So that's equal to what I would have spent at Harbor Freight on a cheap tin Chinese whatever. This is a made in USA NASCAR sponsored Mirachem, and it's non-metallic, will last forever. Got a nice closable lid. It's got a brand new pump in it, a good pump. Nice and quiet. In fact, I almost should put a light on the thing so I can remember to turn it off. Alright, heater's still on. So I'm pretty happy. So gang, thanks for watching my videos. Hit the thumbs up on the way out the door. If you're not a subscriber to Glenn's Speed Shop, please consider doing so. Hit the thumbs up button. Please, that really, really helps me, and I really need all the help I can get. You know that. Guys, catch you on the next one.